Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt a sense of calm? Or perhaps felt suddenly anxious or even inspired for no apparent reason?
Most people assume it is just a mood or a reaction to the decor. But what if I told you that this reaction is not random at all? It is actually your brain responding to space in a very specific, measurable way.
That is the core of what we are exploring today, because understanding how the brain actually perceives architecture is becoming one of the most important tools for modern designers.
When we think about architecture, we usually focus on the visual elements, like how the light hits a wall, the choice of color, or the overall shape and proportion of a structure.
But the fascinating reality is that the brain does not experience space through vision alone, because space perception is a truly multisensory experience.
Your brain is actually combining a massive amount of data every second, including visual information, the sounds around you, your own body movement, and spatial depth.
It even processes temperature and subtle changes in air pressure, and all of this happens instantly and almost entirely unconsciously.
This is why when someone says a space feels heavy or describes a room as feeling open and breathable, they are not just being poetic because they are describing a real neurological response to those environmental inputs.
To understand why this happens, we have to look at the brain's spatial network, specifically certain areas that become highly active when we move through an environment.
One of the primary players is the hippocampus, which is the part of your brain that helps with navigation and spatial memory.
Another critical area is the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for your focus, your decision-making, and your level of attention.
Architectural elements like the height of a ceiling, the degree of openness, or even the symmetry and complexity of a room directly activate these neural networks.
This means that architecture and design are never truly neutral because they are constantly shaping your cognition, influencing how you navigate, how well you can concentrate, and how comfortable you feel in any given space.
But it goes even deeper than thinking and memory, because space perception is also intensely emotional.
Things like light intensity, the sense of enclosure, and the texture of materials can actually influence your heart rate, your stress levels, and even your breathing patterns.
For example, research shows that low ceilings can increase feelings of pressure, while plenty of natural light is proven to reduce stress.
While open spaces can increase your perceived sense of freedom, they can also sometimes make a person feel vulnerable depending on the context.
When someone tells you they feel like a room is suffocating, you should take them literally because their nervous system is having a physiological reaction to that environment.
If we can understand these biological responses, we can begin to design more intentionally to create hospitals that actively reduce patient anxiety and classrooms that significantly improve a student's focus.
It is about moving beyond simply creating beautiful spaces and starting to design spaces that work in harmony with human biology.
At the end of the day, architecture is not just about the walls and the materials we use.
It is about perception, emotion, and our neural response. Because when we design a space, we are ultimately designing for the human brain.